Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is lecture 5 of soil science. In this lecture we will study the soil forming factors. So let's start from the definition of soil formation. So soil is a dynamic natural body that is formed by the combined effect of climate and biota as modified by the topography acting on a parent material over time. So soil formation is the function of five factors. This includes the climate, biota, topography, parent material and time. So all these factors together or individually they influence the process of soil formation. So as a result of the influence of these factors, soil is formed. So let's look on one by one. So the most basic factor or initial factor that affect the soil formation and also the soil type is the parent material. It is the genetic factor that is inherited by any kind of soil. So parent material impacts in many different ways soil. Number one is the textural class is determined by the parent material. Then innate soil fertility is also determined by the parent material. Then the types of the clay minerals in the soil are also determined by the parent material, and soil pH is also very much related with the soil parent material. So soil texture class is affected due to the parent material because soil texture means sand, silt and clay. Sand, silt and clay come from the parent material of the soil. So greater proportion of the sand, silt and clay is contributed by the parent material, but it normally changes with the time. Then the innate soil fertility is the inherited soil fertility, the soil fertility that is coming from the parent materials. It means the nutrients in the soil is initially given by the parent material. The soil is fertile if its parent material is good. Okay, and then the types of the clay minerals. Minerals inside the soil are also associated with the parent material, and soil chemical properties, especially soil pH, is also related with the parent material. So classes of parent material based on placement. There are two classes of parent material, two kind of parent material. One is the residual parent material. The other one is transported parent material. Residual parent material means a parent material that is formed from the rocks, and it is there where it is formed and converted into the soil. That is the residual parent material. It means there was no transportation or there was no erosion happened, and the rock are converted into the minerals, and from mineral the soil is formed and no location is changed or place is changed. So that is the residual parent material. The transported parent material means The rocks are converted into minerals or into pieces, and those that pieces or parent material is transported somewhere. This transportation may happen due to water, or may happen due to wind, or may happen due to the biological activities, maybe anthropogenic activities or animal activities. So we have the six types of transported parent material, okay, and that we will discuss. But here we discuss the residual parent material. So soils develop from underlying bedrock. In case of residual parent material, soils develop from the different rocks like igneous rock, sedimentary rock, metamorphic rocks. So the type of the rock strongly influence the type of the soil. So if the rocks are limestone, then the soil will be clay soil, and if rocks are sandstone, the soil will be little bit sandy soil, coarse soil, or acidic soil. And if the rocks are granite, then also the soil will be coarse, sandy like, or acidic soil. And if the soil rocks are slate or shale, mean metamorphic rocks, then the soil will be clay soil. Okay. So in case of limestone and metamorphic rock, the soil will be clay, but in case of igneous rocks or sandstone case, the soil will be sandy soil. So this is the effect of the residual parent material on that. But in case of the transported parent material, many changes happen and many things mixed up. So type of the transported parent material, there are about six types. Number one is colluvial debris. Colluvial debris is moved or transported uh, through landslides. So rocks are broken down into pieces, and due to the gravitational flow or due to the earthquake, the landslides happens and the solid material, dry material is transported from one place to the another, or it is moved from one place to another. That is the colluvial debris. Okay. Then there is a alluvial deposits. Alluvial deposits, these are the parent material that is formed from different rocks, that is moved or transported through into the flood plains, alluvial fans, and delta deposits. So such kind of parent material is transported in water from one place to another, especially in the flood water, or in the rivers. Like you can observe that in the summer season in Gilgit river is very dirty water that flow. The turbidity of the water is very high because in it the silt is flowing from here to the till the dams in a way. So these materials, these alluvial materials is deposited in the plains down the country, and they also fill up the dams. That dams may require clean to clean, and there is a greater cost is, is involved in it. Then we have the marine sediments, and we can also call the ocean sediments. And these kind of transported parent material can be observed on the coastal areas, This include mostly the sandy material that is transported through the movement of water in the oceans. Ocean water move this material from one place to another. Then we have the lacustrine or sediments, that the lake sediments. These sediments or these transported material is can be looked or can be seen around around the lakes, around the rivers or nalas. It is transported with the help of the water. Then aeolian deposit, these are the wind deposits, and this soil material is transported. This parent material is transported with the help of the wind, and this happens mostly in the desert areas where the sand dunes are formed, and soil material is transported from one place to another. Then there are the glacial deposits. These glacial deposits are found under the glaciers. Under the surface of the glaciers, rocks are broken down into smaller pieces and ultimately converted into the soil, nearly the soil material. And this plowing or tillage effect of the glaciers and the rocks is called the glacial till. This material is called the glacial till that is present under the glacier, under the surface of the glacier. And we can observe this glacial till once the glacier is melted fully, and we can notice a soil material is present on the peak of the mountain where the glacier was. And this glacial till is then flow down along the water, and that is called the glacial wash. Once it is moved from the peak of the mountain to down the river, it is called the glacial wash. And mostly this soil is very fertile and can be used for agriculture purpose. Here in the pictures on the left side, the first picture showing the alluvial deposits, the deposits due to the on the end of the nalas in the rivers. The second picture can also be some lacustrine deposits or sediments can observe, but in the third picture, last on the right, is showing the glacial till and glacial wash, the soil that is formed under the layer of the glacier. And this is the physical breakdown due to the formation of the ice in the cracks of the mountains. And one thing you can notice that the height of the mountains which have the glaciers is gradually reducing. Every year 5 to 10 feet of these peaks